right.
All right. And good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Catania Chronicles, brought to you by Sam Catania Painting, for all your painting needs. I'm not the only one here. Sam is here with me, and I'm not even going to try to guess what number show it is, because yesterday I got it wrong, and I know I'll get it wrong today.
I figured, if anything, you have a possible chance today.
Well, now yesterday I said 71, I believe.
Right.
So I'm going to say today is 73.
Let's walk our way through it. Today is show number 3,418. You're
Yeah.
close.
That's like the wind chill. It feels like that. It isn't really that. It just feels that way.
I might be offended by that. Wait a minute. Today is show number 73. Catania
It is
Chronicles.
73.
Yeah, I said my last name right.
Yeah, you did. And I got the show.
I'm
right.
going to
That's
celebrate.
it. Let's quit while we're ahead.
Let's it. You think we're joking?
We're not.
Catania Chronicles number 73. I mispronounce my last name on this show because I get so hyped up and excited.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know, once every few shows maybe. So we have some awesome talk about today. This is something that was very intriguing to me. We're going to talk about payroll.
Payroll.
We're going to talk about payroll. And so I'm sure most entrepreneurs and small businesses deal with this.
Oh, yeah.
So when I first opened the business, I was paying the employees every week. And we started to sink because lots of accounts, lots of customers don't pay right away. So everything was coming out of pocket because at that point in time, I couldn't get a line of credit. I was just,
Right.
we were struggling.
Right.
And I'm telling you what, a shout out to all business owners. It's not the American dream anymore.
Yeah. No, it's, we've talked about this before. Every entrepreneur, business owner has my admiration because I don't know how you folks do it. It's tough enough for me just to be like, here's what I need to do for my daily job. I collect my paycheck. That's the end of the story. That in itself is a challenge enough. I don't know when you sleep. All the things that got to be rolling around in your head every single day. Even when the economy's good.
Doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop, I'm sure.
And oddly enough, when I'm writing our TV commercials, typically those thoughts, oddly enough, come in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I wake
Yeah.
up, I was dreaming something, I'll write it in my phone really quick so I don't forget.
Right.
Or I'll throw Heather Headley, my Fox sales rep, I'll throw her a random 3:30 in the morning text so I don't forget.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows, her phone dings, she says, oh, here's a commercial.
He's got another idea. He's got another idea. But how do you even have any time for creativity when you've got all just the headaches of being a business owner? We had, without saying what happened, you had a call right before we went on air of, I got a situation.
Right, yeah, absolutely,
Right?
You're right. You're right.
Right?
I mean, minutes before we went on air.
Minutes before.
And the creativity, for me, rarely occurs when I'm actually in the thought process of trying to make a commercial.
Oh, okay.
Typically occurs, I wrote a commercial when I was on the lake kayaking.
Right. Right.
Just something hit me, something triggered, and I just spun off of that.
Right.
And I pride myself and it's so cool because the employees complimented me yesterday, and I'll take it, it's humbling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't stress. I just let it roll off. And you saw that phone, you heard that phone call.
Yeah.
That phone call, as bad as that was,
You did not
I
stress.
just don't.
You were cool.
I just let it roll
Yeah.
off. I just started laughing.
You were, because when the phone call, without, again, revealing what it was, when the phone call came down, I'm over here like, ooh, I wouldn't want to call the boss with this one.
Yes.
But you were cool. You were very cool.
I just let it roll right off me.
Yeah, got you.
And I take a lot of pride in not stressing. So if I ever tell you I'm stressed,
Mhm.
it's a bad week. It's a
Yeah,
bad week.
it's gotta be very bad,
It's a
okay.
bad week.
Gotcha.
So with payroll, once I realized that we were in trouble because we couldn't make payroll, I'm pulling out of pocket. I didn't have any money in the bank. I'm trying to pull out of pocket. I can't make payroll. I'm asking my guys, hey, can you possibly wait till next week? I switched all payroll over to bi-weekly, allowing me an additional 7 days to collect payment from customers.
Right,
accounts.
right.
It's hard. It's really difficult. People think that once you finish your job, you get paid immediately. It's not always the case. It's not
No,
like that.
Not
No.
at all.
No, you have to wait. And the waiting period is exhausting.
So yeah, you know, you've gotta pay your employees, you've got supplies to buy, you got vehicles to maintain.
Right.
And here you are waiting for payment on a job.
Right.
And this is just every day how it works.
And this is what business owners go through.
Sure.
Business owners, we have to wait for those payments, but when we have to pay a bill, there's no waiting game. You have to pay that bill on
Right,
time.
right.
Otherwise, it affects your credit, and then you fall farther behind.
Mhm.
So, it got to the point where we were paying a large amount every 2 weeks, yet still struggling to come up with the amount of money all at once. So I decided to do something really clever and interesting. I decided to, I don't know where this came from. I know people, I don't do drugs.
What are your kayak ideas?
I don't do drugs, so I can't even blame it on drugs.
Yeah. Maybe it was a protein shake.
It
was a protein shake.
It could have been, yes.
Some kind of green beverage.
Yeah, the endorphins were kicking in. And I contacted the payroll service, and I said, you know what, we're gonna we're gonna take all these employees,
Mhm.
and, we ramp up to 30 employees
Sure.
in the summer. We're gonna take all these employees, we're gonna split them down the middle. I'm gonna try to balance the payroll. We're gonna do two individual payrolls.
Oh,
I'm going to,
like balance billing.
like balance billing. I'm going to try to make sure the average wages,
Yeah.
once you add up all the wages, I'm gonna try to make sure the average wage is balanced or very close across the
Right.
board.
As close as you can get.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, they were a little confused. They weren't sure what was going on. We use ADP.
Mhm.
If you've never heard of ADP, ADP is I believe they're still considered the largest payroll.
They're the big boys.
They're the largest payroll company in the world.
Yeah, what Coca-Cola is to pop, ADP is to payroll.
Yeah, they are. Some of their customers, just to name a couple: Amazon,
Yeah.
Sherwin-Williams, the New York Yankees. I mean, these are big dogs. iHeart.
Big-
There you go.
The big ones.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right, so you have ADP.
Mhm.
I didn't know that. That's cool. So they're the big boys.
Yeah, they are.
And so I contacted them, and I said, all right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna split this into 2 different payrolls. And I had to call the employees in for a meeting. I said, all right, here's what we're doing. We're syncing. I don't know what to do. We're syncing. Thank God I had some phenomenal employees that understood and said, all right, we'll wait. You're good, we'll wait. What do you mean you'll wait? We'll wait, just get the money and we'll wait. Oh, knock on wood, we don't have to do that anymore, because that was very stressful.
Yeah.
So, check this out. So I took the first group and I named them Group A. Okay, so payroll A
Right.
gets paid this week. Payroll B is the next group. They get paid next week.
Okay.
So, and they continue to alternate weeks.
Mhm.
All right, so each payroll has its own ID number. When you call ADP, you have to,
I'm already confused.
yes, when you call ADP, you have to give them an ID number. What's your ID number?
Okay.
It's like an 8-digit number.
Yeah.
Well, I have to differentiate which one they want. Or if we're doing payroll taxes or something like that, or say we're applying for a grant, or we're under an audit,
Yeah.
or taxes, anything. IRS, I have to differentiate which one they want. And if
Sure.
they want all the employees, I have
Right.
to give them 2 different payroll IDs, 2 different ID numbers. So what's really
It just
cool,
sounds like a
what's really
royal
cool,
pain.
so I just discovered this in 2022. I never knew this. So dealing with the bank, my friend's the manager of the bank, he and I were talking. So dealing with the bank and dealing with ADP and different things. It doesn't matter who you call. It doesn't matter when you call, how often you call. ADP, they're the big boys. There's
Yeah.
always a different rep that answers the phone.
Yeah,
You have no idea who
sure.
it is.
There's not one guy sitting by the phone. You've got
Right.
a huge call center.
Male, female, whatever it may be. So when you call the call center and you give them the ID number, it's rather intriguing that they're stumped. They're stumped. They're like, well, what do you mean you have 2? I said, we have 2 ID numbers.
Not common practice, I guess. Huh?
Well, I don't understand. Hold on. I gotta talk to the manager. Hold on. No, I can explain this to you.
Yeah,
Don't put me on hold. So, it's really cool that the bank has told me, ADP have told me,
mhm.
and other business owners I've talked to have told me, I've never heard of that before. I said, ADP, what do you mean you've never heard of this before? No, I've never heard of that, and it cripples ADP. It's so
Well, it's very counterintuitive for them. It goes against their whole business
it's
model.
so entertaining. I
Yeah.
love it. It's so entertaining. So we're applying for a grant currently. And I was on ADP yesterday. We're applying for a grant, and when they want your payroll numbers or your P&L statements,
Mhm.
they need all the employees. So I kicked over payroll A and I kicked over payroll B for all the quotas that we're asking for.
Right.
And it's so entertaining. I just sit back and I enjoy it. I laugh. She called me back and she's not from ADP, the grant, IRS.
Okay.
I'm talking to the IRS. They called me back and said, I think you sent doubles of everything. I said,
Because
so
of the
I
two-
started explaining to her, and
Okay.
she says, all right, hold on, I am so confused.
Yeah.
I said, all right, here's the deal. We have two separate payrolls. So what happens is, when employees start with us, I try to keep it simple, stupid.
Mhm.
Try to keep it simple. So it's funny because I tell them, Catania Painting pays weekly payroll. You're going to get paid bi-weekly. And
Right,
your week
right.
will start here.
Right.
And they're like, what?
You pay weekly, but not all
All
the
you
employees
have to
weekly.
worry about is you get paid bi-weekly. Every
Right.
2 weeks you'll get paid.
Just, that's what you need to know. You'll get a paycheck every 2 weeks.
Rib Rack Shack, Ed Hopkins, no guest today. My guest is, well, there are 4 of us here, me, myself, and I, and AC.
Yeah, and me.
Yeah. So it's really cool that Sam Catania Painting pays weekly. So I have payroll today. I have to
Right.
process it today.
Yeah.
So it'll go through direct deposit and be in their account after midnight.
Mhm.
But this is payroll, I believe this is payroll B. It's payroll B.
Okay.
Remember looking at the time cards. So then, next week will be payroll A.
Makes
And we don't
sense.
really have to keep up because everything's documented in
Yeah.
the system. We
Now,
don't-
you've been
and
doing this how long with the 2 payrolls?
Approximately 10 years.
Okay, so it's rolling, you
And
know how it works.
it's a well-oiled machine. It's
Yeah.
the most effective and efficient way we found to stay afloat
Mhm.
and to stay ahead of the game. And it's so entertaining. So I sit up at, I go to Key Bank. I'm sitting at Key Bank and I'm sitting with John Boyd, a friend of mine who's a manager at Key Bank. Shout out John. I've been trying to get him on the show. And he says, John's been working with me for 10 years. He said, when you first introduced this to me, I gotta admit, I was crippled. What are you talking about? I was absolutely confused. Then I got to know you a little bit and I see how it works. And he said, wow, that is very efficient. I said, it works.
Yeah.
Our payroll, I want to say our top payroll is like 25,000 for a week.
Mhm.
And sometimes they come in around 22,000. When we peak out, we're a 22,000 a week
Mhm.
consistent for the entire summer. Well, it was too difficult to come up with, say, $44,000. I'm like, how am I gonna do that? I can't do that.
Mhm.
How am I gonna pull that off? So if you split it in two,
There you go.
it allows me an extra 7 days to come up with that other 50%.
Right.
And oh my, it's still difficult. It's still tough because we are currently working with insurance companies. We're still waiting on a job that was completed before Christmas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know that's like a business like yours, that you get those situations.
Yep.
And it's unfortunately just part of the game.
It is. It is. Do you want to take it on or not? Do you want
Yeah.
to take on those jobs?
Right.
Do you want those accounts? And thing is, Target, we had to wait 6 months for
Mhm.
payment. All right. You want it or not?
Yeah.
GE, who is now Wabtec, but right before the transition, GE was our account. We let it go intentionally. Once Wabtec moved in, we said, yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
GE was almost to the day, almost to the calendar day, 1 year.
Yeah.
1 year. And let me tell you, it wasn't a $150,000 job, people.
Yeah.
We're talking, the one job was 10,000. 1 year.
Yeah, you're not waiting on these massive amounts of money,
No.
which might justify
Yeah.
a delay.
Yeah,
Right.
that could absolutely, you get
Yeah,
into the
okay.
6 digits.
Yeah, sure.
That'll justify it.
Sure.
$10,000, $12,000, $8,000. Come on, man.
Right.
1 year.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, the account wasn't worth it.
Mhm.
So it's really intriguing. It's entertaining when my office manager Melinda, when her and I call ADP, because she has full access too. When we call ADP, we know why we're calling. We know which payroll we're calling about.
Right.
If we call about both payrolls, we have to gently walk you through it.
And remind them that
We
things are
have
done
to
differently.
hold on, don't put me on hold.
Yeah.
Don't put me on hold. No,
You know they want
don't
to.
put me on hold.
You know they want to.
Well, everybody has one account ID, one ID number. I said, no, we have two. Well, hold on. No,
Yeah.
don't put me on hold.
Oh, that's what they want to do.
Then you're on hold forever.
Then you
you're
hear that,
jumping through
that
hoops.
damn music that never ends.
Yes. And we've had, it's so cool. It's complimentary. It's humbling. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, we're a small business in Erie. Are you telling me nobody else in the world has ever come up
That's
with this?
really interesting that
Are
nobody
you
has.
serious?
It's really
And
interesting.
I still don't believe it. I'm sure somebody out there has. I've never met them.
Yeah.
And ADP has no idea about this. And the banks I talked to, I've gone through 3 banks now, and they said, no, we've never heard of this. I said, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome on a
That's-
whole different level.
That's interesting though. That's really interesting because if you think about it, say you're not a business owner and say, oh, well, I have trouble making my big car payment. Can I split it in 2? Each month can I pay every 2 weeks instead of once a month?
Right.
Well, that might make sense,
That's a great analogy.
right?
It really
So
is.
you have time to, scramble and get a little more money from here and there.
That's a great comparison. It really is. But nobody does that.
Nobody does
No
it
one.
in business. That's
And
interesting.
all you business owners, shout out to you. This is a hard life to live.
It is very.
It's a hard life to live. It's no longer the American dream. It used to be, but now with all the legalities they put in place and everybody wants a piece of the pie,
Mhm.
I'm sure the majority of the business owners out there would totally agree with me that this is no longer the American dream. This is one hell of a run.
It is,
It's hard.
and then you put the economy on top of that,
Yes,
on top of the regulations, and
absolutely.
it is really really tough. And
And-
and I will shout out to all the people in Erie starting new businesses. God bless you. You are
It's-
my heroes.
Especially in a test site city.
Yes, in a test site
Erie
city.
is a test
Right.
site city. If you think you have a nice product or a good service to offer, bring it to Erie.
Yeah, try
See
it
what
here.
you can do. If
Absolutely,
it takes off in Erie, it'll succeed.
for sure.
If it falls on its face, you're in trouble.
Yes, correct.
And Erie's a tough sell.
It is.
But it's really cool that they really, I mean, we're talking about ADP and they do this for a living. They have this huge call center and Melinda laughs. She just sits there and laughs when I give her the lead and I said, Melinda, do this.
Yeah,
She calls, she said, this is gonna be fun.
right.
This could be a lot of fun.
Every time you talk to
Every
them.
time, because you're not ever talking to the same person.
Right, and
they
they're
have
never familiar with this concept.
never familiar. It is so cool. We
Yeah.
have 2 ID numbers. Work with me. Here's the first ID number. They get it up on their screen. Okay, open another screen. Here's the second ID number. They get it on the screen. Then I start look at the employees. The employees are
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
The employees are different. Don't panic. Because
Yes.
they don't know what to do.
same business, different list of
They
employees.
always want to turn to the manager.
Of
No.
course they do.
And I just wanted to share that with everybody.
Yeah, that's
It's
really interesting.
Really, it is such, it's such a huge compliment to hear that. It's like, what? No one's ever.
Yeah,
thought
don't
of
you
this?
love it when you find a different way to do something
And it
people
works.
don't get it? Yes,
And
I
it's-
love that.
It really works.
Mine are usually very small victories, involving radio station software or something, but it's like, nobody's
That's a
doing
big
it.
victory.
Nobody's doing it this way. but
Anytime you talk
me.
about software, that's a big victory. Yes.
Well, we have pretty good software, but
That's
there-
even a bigger
There are
victory.
good workarounds and cheats,
Yeah.
I'm a video game person, so I'm always looking for workarounds.
Yeah.
Always looking for cheat codes,
Different
always looking for,
the coding.
yeah, different
Absolutely.
ways to do things.
But when you already have a good system in place and you find that the coding,
Yeah.
you find that loophole, that outlet.
Well,
That's awesome.
I'll tell you, Sam, just to toot my own horn, when people go, how can you be on 3 radio stations a day? That's how.
Yeah.
I found a way to do
You
it.
found the way.
I had to.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't be 100% this, 100% that, 100% this. It's, okay, how do I do this? How do I sneak this in here? And what can I take from here and retool it and use it over here and so forth? That's the same thing.
It's
you know?
magic.
It
It's
is
awesome.
magic.
It is so cool.
It's
And
like having 2 ADP numbers.
Right, and I
It's
couldn't-
magical.
we couldn't stay afloat with 30 employees.
Mhm.
Every week, 30 employees. No.
Yeah,
So why not split it in half and run 2 payrolls?
right.
It worked out. It's actually worked out and it's been effective and efficient.
10 years, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool story, Sam. I
And
like
no
that.
one's tapped into it yet.
Yeah, I like
And
that.
I understand if we're talking to a payroll service here locally in Erie.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. When you're talking to ADP, the largest, they're the
And
big
they've never
dogs.
seen it?
Amazon, iHeart, Sherwins,
All the biggies.
Yankees. It's like, you've not,
Yeah.
really?
That's crazy.
Really?
I love it.
You do it with major leagues, you've never seen this? Oh my God, this is awesome. So cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to share that with everybody.
Yeah, I love it.
You have to go see your mom.
I have
So
to go see my mom.
We're signing off for mom.
We have our priorities here.
And we will be back.
Waterford boys are mama's boys.
Absolutely. I'm not ashamed of that.
Me neither.
So we'll be back next Wednesday at 9 until 10.
That's right.
All right, thanks everybody.
1400 Erie's news and traffic. Erie traffic in less than 15 minutes. Now let's check on local headlines.
Isn't it such a cool feeling that you find that loophole, you find that coding error?
I'll tell you what,